And the reason there are some draws in separation, that's due to their position.
It is. She's definitely surpassed her expectation being in this round, so I know she's just having an absolute blast being out there, soaking it all in.
So her score is 80.6 as it stands, so mid-pack, which means she needs to climb high. And this first part is all about trying to get through it, not pumped, in control.
Yeah, trying to get to the scoring section, so it'll be interesting to see how difficult this bit is. So far, looking pretty steady.
Yeah, no real tricks down low. Because the route setters, of course, want to give the athletes a chance to score, so they're not going to want to shut them down too hard early on. And that's the points indicated down on the bottom right. Now, the scoreboard on the left, that will update once the athletes start scoring, so it should start adding up so you can see what's going on. Zhenya Kazbekova is, at the moment, cruising as we thought she might through the bottom.
Moving pretty quickly. We're actually almost into our scoring section.
There is the first score, that yellow hold. The athletes get 6 minutes to try to climb this route. If they get run out of time, they will get timed out and not be allowed to continue.
Must be quite a nice welcome change for the athletes to have a steady introduction to a route. There's nothing worse than being nervous for the first, like seeing a jump or a tricky section right at the second draw. You don't want it to be over before it's even begun. So it looks like we're in for
there is a bit of a
pretty
move.
committing move. I guess the route setters gave them all the way up to the last moment with an easy start.
Yeah, and it looks like a potential rest here. So Zhenya is just below the first scoring zone here. These 5 holds coming up, these 5 moves there are worth 1 point each. So that's 1 point on the score, and then you can see added on, which should be in a minute. And that's the match, so that'll be 2. So she's in the scoring zone, and she will continue now. Not quite sure why it's not being added, but we'll see. Right, so high heel hook, across through to the match of the sloper.
Pretty involved climbing here. Oh, and a very good knee back from Zhenya. That looks pretty solid, that.
Yeah, something they would have probably spotted from the ground on the observation.
Yeah, definitely.
So Zhenya is cruising into the points here.
About to move into our second section, meaning she's secured herself 5 points.
There should be, and we can see that score. It will change. It's not just 1. There we go. It's adding up now.
Zhenya climbing too quickly.
Exactly.
Too quickly for our tech guys.
Some poor guy with a calculator backstage. They're crazy right now. Right, but she is getting towards the higher scoring zone, and it's a bit hidden in that shot, but it is to her. There you go. You can see it there as she moves her leg. So she's into the bigger points.
And now we are into 2 points per move.
And this is where things
already
really
looking
kick up.
tricky.
How steep is it out there, Molly? You've climbed on that wall.
It's steep. It is, yeah, it's quite a shock, especially once you leave the comfort of the slightly less steep section to begin with. But she is making moves and looking pretty relaxed so far.
Yeah, people getting behind her as her score starts to rack up. But of course, she's still not overtaking Janja Garnbret's score with that. And now Will.
You can see just how much work you need to do to catch up with someone who's had a fantastic boulder round.
And she swings around, gets the heel locked in. Score continuing to stack up. Now she's at the top of the leaderboard with 101 points. So only just now overtakes Janja. And she moves into the third and final scoring zone. These are starting to be worth 5 points now.
Looking a little bit tired, thumb wrapping over the fingers.
So a bit of a traverse coming up across that volume. Little for the feet for Janja.
Just lost a foot.
Oh, she goes.
A big fall.
Is underway. Mia Krampel did so well in that bouldering round, left herself in a brilliant position, especially for a podium place. Forget about victory. I mean, it's just like getting a medal. She'll be slow and steady through this first section. Not too hard, but there is that jump that we saw Zhenya just have a hesitation on.
Definitely trickier than I anticipated. Almost didn't notice it.
Here into the blue, and that is the jump coming up, that dish of a shape. this is it. She sets herself up just before the first scoring opportunity. She's only a third of the way out the route and is resting her way through here.
Trying to conserve as much energy as possible before the real work kicks in.
Statically, almost reaching up. How would you approach this, Molly, if you were out there seeing this now?
Good question. I think I would try and climb through the bottom bit as quickly as possible, get to this hold, which looks good from the ground, rest up, and then I think this would be a speed climb for me. For some reason, it being separated into sections, I think it makes it more obvious as to where to break up the flow and where to, how to focus your pacing in this route.
Yeah, and there's no real reason why the route setup would suddenly step things up between sections, and yet you think they must do, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, more points, you would assume that the moves would be harder. But yeah, I would definitely attempt to climb the bottom bit as quickly as possible, rest up and almost take it as a new route from the start of the scoring holds.
I'd love to know whether the route setters set this within the zones or whether they just set a route and then put the zones in. Do you think that'd be the fairer way to do it?
Yeah, for sure.
And Mia Kramper is horizontal. Look at that shot. It's so overhanging through the blue triangle. What's her score add up? She's out to 93.9.
I think it's making our women climb quicker, this. Like, we've still got 3.5 minutes on the clock, and people have timed out on this wall, so, I think pace is definitely going up.
Yeah, and we saw a couple of tactics change during the boulder because of those two zones, and we are seeing it, I think, in the lead as well. Still upside down, really not a proper resting position either.
No, hasn't really opted to rest since she left that no-score zone, but is kind of taking a shake on every move.
Yeah, climbing up.
Here we are. Almost surpassing Zhenya.
Yeah, certainly coming close. And now she jumps to the top of the leaderboard. There we go. Our new leader.
That's where we lost Zhenya. Looking very comfortable still for Mia.
What a comp Mia's having for this combined format.
She's totally turned it up on the day that it counted. Yet resting on that hold that Zhenya couldn't quite get her fingers over.
And remember, it's not, this head wall on this route is really short. It's mainly all roof.
And we're approaching the final clip before the top section. So onto the head wall.
So she's in the 5 points, so it's getting bigger and bigger.
Bigger and bigger, and now all she has to do is go climbing until she clips that final chain. She's still looking really steady.
Looking great. So, yeah, doesn't look pumped even yet.
Could we see a top already?
Out she goes to the right hold.
And
just matches that final slope. He's going to click the chains and get maximum points.
yes,
We start the Olympic qualification process.
for sure. I mean, I can't believe it's starting so soon already. But I know that Camilla had some goals for this competition, and she achieved most of them with making the combined final the main one, I think. And she definitely experimented with her training in the run-up to this, so it will have been a successful competition for her regardless. A good starting point for next year, and with the ultimate goal being Paris, of course.
Yeah, and it's easy to forget how young she is. She's just really started fully coming into the senior circuit. So she is underway, approaching the first tricky part of this no-scoring zone. No points in the bottom half. If you're watching this, it is different from the single format.
And I wonder how much more this section will tire her out than our more established league climbers, or whether there's not, she goes double, showing that she is the vice world champion in boulder.
Well, you said this is kind of a speed route, and that is going to suit her style, because as a boulderer, she might want to climb quicker.
Definitely. I think boulderers tend to just go, 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 because they have got less endurance than the lead specialists. So, I mean, she's made quick work of the start. We'll see if she keeps up the fast pace.
So Camilla swings back, her score starts creeping up. You can see the scoreboard down the bottom left, the number on the far left, that's her total. The one fixed saying BLD, that's the boulder, and then the lead is what she's currently racking up, just to explain that graphic. As our camera pans in towards her and rotates, you start to get an appreciating, an understanding of how overhanging this route is. Look at that. I mean, they've put volumes on top of a volume on top of an overhanging
I know,
wall.
which makes it even steeper, as if it needed to be any harder.
3D climbing up there. Is it easy to get sort of disorientated in that position?
Definitely. I mean, you see people spinning round when they're reading the routes, and sometimes we've seen inversions in the qualification rounds. We've seen paddles. Routes and boulders, they're really crossing over with every competition. And so, yeah, it can be quite tricky. A lot of the time people go feet first and they go maybe not. So, you know, it's getting harder and harder to know what on earth the route sets want you to do on the wall.
Camilla Moroni makes a clip. She's deep into the scoring territory now, approaching the 5-point moves.
She is having a really good climb so far. She had a top 10 finish in the lead element of the European Championship, so she's clearly in the best lead shape of her life right now. Let's see what she can do.
Yeah, doing really well at the moment. She comes up to the crimps.
Sticks it.
So she's done all the 3D climbing, the overhanging stuff, and now she needs to hope her forearms can hold on to those smaller holds.
We're into straight resistance climbing now.
Tiny feet.
I'm sure everything is hurting right now. Skin, forearms.
And we lose her at 100.
And coach is looking a little nervous.
Would be. I've never lost more sweat through my fingertips watching a comp in
Tell
my
me
life.
about it.
It's nerve-wracking here. Well, Chloe starts with 58.9. She won't score to start with. She only scores when she gets to the yellow hold, so this is just about keeping it together. Looks left and will kick the foot up into the space of that volume.
Steady start on this women's route.
Looks like a straight ledge from a front-on perspective. It is sloping gradually down that hold.
I mean, we say steady, but it will definitely be trickier than most routes in your local gym. Still, even just to where it starts to score.
Yeah, and people will inevitably ask about grades, and it's even harder to grade a lead route, but definitely in the range of 8B to 8C, I think, for the finals.
I would agree, definitely.
On site as well. The athletes only got 6 minutes to look at it before they attempted it. Haven't practiced any of this.
And we'll never get to climb it again.
No, that's it. One and done. So Chloe approaches the first crux of this route, and she rests well before it. She doesn't want to mess this up before the scoring zone. Gets the foot on, sets herself for the jump, pops up, and matches with the other hand.
So like a semi-static, semi-jump method.
Yeah, think of Camilla Moroni's leap.
I know. The confidence.
The power.
The power, indeed.
Right, so she's just below the scoring zone. You can see it on the wall there with the star and the line. She'll start getting points added after this moment. She takes a long rest because she knows from here on there's no stopping. Crowd clapping in the background, spurring her on. Bumping up, locks the left heel in. And her score starts to rise, but she needs to get above 104 at the moment to get onto the podium. Big ask for Chloe Collier. What is her endurance like after this many days competing?
Definitely struggling a little more than the ladies we've seen before. But she has found this knee bar. Bit of a grimace on her face, maybe not the most comfortable position.
Now, although you're not allowed to grab those quick draws, you can do what she just did, which is to make them swing. She does that in order to reach it more easily in an awkward position.
Yeah, a lot of the time we think the moves are tricky, but also clipping all these quick draws can be tricky themselves. A lot of the time they are crux moves too. And you have to clip them in sequence, so you can't go up, clip one, come back down and get the other one, or realise you've forgotten to clip, you have to clip them in sequence to progress through the route.
Chloe matching the heel to the hand, trying not to stand on your own fingers, which she kind of is, but now pops the fingers out. Matches again with two hands. Finally a good rest through the steepest part of this walk. Doesn't pause there long though. And again, grabs that quick draw, not waiting it, flips it into the rope.
Still has a long way to go to improve her score.
Yeah, she's still down in 7th position. Definitely having to fight her way through here. You can see Amir Krampel, the only athlete to top out at the moment to finish the route. Chloe Collier has got grit.
She does indeed, and she is fighting already. And
kicks the left foot over to try to get the foot.
well, we saw her in finals the other day. She's a World Cup winner, so I think she can definitely take some confidence from her recent lead performances into this route.
Her left shoulder strapped up, I think, since the boulder. She's got some treatment on there. And she's right down at the bottom again, similar to Chloe. Low 30 score.
She
So
can't
high
catch
30s.
Mia, unfortunately, but she can move into 2nd place if she tops this route. Or she doesn't even have to top.
So that's what she needs to do. She's got the quality to do it. Getting a knee in there.
Yeah, making this look a little awkward.
One of those great things about climbing, whenever I started, you were told, don't use your knees, it's bad form.
Oh.
And you forget about it when you're a pro, anything
It's
goes.
definitely a technique.
Glad you said that, I use it quite a lot.
I used one today.
So Alicia rests. Ooh, slight hesitation, she went out to that pinch.
Not the smoothest climb through this bottom section that we've seen, but she is a specialist lead climber, so I'm sure she'll be able to recover on our final blue hole before we reach the scoring section.
And recovery is interesting because they've only had about 30 minutes from the end of the boulder
Really
to
not
get going.
long. Especially for athletes like Eliška, who had so many attempts on the last two boulders. I'm sure they're feeling that now.
Yeah, good point, she was running back and forth at the end.
Loads of frantic goes.
Look how well she does that first crux moves.
Yeah, and she head back, relaxing. And I think that's what separates lead climbers from combined boulder specialists, is they're really able to relax on the lead route, and that is so important. Being able to switch on, switch off almost, and really make the most of those recovery positions.
You'll notice a white line drawn on the hold there. That's a tick mark put in by the judges in chalk, and you can see her foot on it there. And sometimes they stick that in on a blind hold just to give a hint to the athletes about where to aim for.
Yeah, we love tick marks.
The level's so high for these women in terms of difficulty on this route. She bumps up the left hand to the slopers.
So much tension through that tiny sprawl. And takes a cut at the beginning of our very gymnastic, athletic steep section.
So here we go. How much has she got left in her arms? She snatches a little bit of that quick draw awkwardly behind her head.
Quite a stretch for that quick draw, but she looks very comfortable in this knee bar position. A keen rock climber, maybe more comfortable than others using this technique, as that's where we usually see something like this.
Yeah, the athlete's not allowed to use knee pads like they can outside. It's against the rules, so you have to use skin, or in her case, leggings, in order to just press your knee into there. It can be painful.
And she's reached our next scoring section, so all of these moves are worth 2 points each.
So Alicia gets the heel, and she'll now rock upwards. The most overhanging part. This is where Chloe Collier found a good rest.
Despite all the work that she's done, she's still only on 17 points on this lead route.
It's heartbreaking, isn't it? You just want to give her more points.
But as we know, the higher you get, the more you are rewarded, the more fruitful each move becomes.
Yeah, and she could break into that top 3. So medals on the line for her here as she goes upwards. There is Chloe Collier's full point. Climb just before this. These quick draws extended through this steep section in order to minimise the rope drag. You don't want to be being pulled down by the weight and the friction between the rope and the surface of the wall or through those quick draws. And she's into the 5-point zone now.
A slight bend in the elbow, signaling some fatigue, but she's still looking relatively controlled. So let's see if she'll pass Zhenya. Who we lost on this move, I believe. And she finds another move out.
Yeah, kind of knee scrubbing away.
Yeah. Oh, dropping down to 3 fingers in a drag. Definitely showing some signs of fatigue.
The drag's all the way for her, those fingers open, not crimped and closed up. And look at this footwork as she crosses through and under.
Still really smooth climbing from Alicia. Oh, okay, maybe she is a bit more relaxed than we thought.
Yeah, I think she's enjoying herself out there. This is her element, and she's already into a bronze medal position. Straight arms to rest.
No more clips until we reach the final hold and the final quick draw.
Molly, that fall looks super scary. It is safe though, right?
It's very safe, yeah. That's why we have the rope and all these quick draws.
Right, pressure on. She's got a minute on the clock, which will be enough time. As she
is battling.
She's so close to silver.
She is looking. She's got that hold. Oh. World Games winner this year and silver medalist from the other day here at the European Championships. I think we could see another top there.
Yeah, she's certainly got it in her, but she needs to keep calm through the bottom. Obviously down in 8th because of that. The fact she hasn't climbed yet. She did well in the boulder, put herself right in contention with an 80.6.
Can't quite catch Mia, but can definitely aim for a medal, regardless.
Yeah, good spot. So, Mia Krampel, what a performance from her. She's going to be sitting pretty down there on the road.
Sitting very pretty down in that chair.
Happy with her performance.
I mean, there's nothing more she could have done, really, is there?
Exactly. It's like perfection at that point. You just have to say, well, look, I've done what I can do.
And then it's down to everyone else.
Jessie stretches up. That crimp looks bad to us at home, but it's a good hold for these athletes, especially with the angle of the wall. Ooh, creeps up towards it.
And now the move really begins for Jessie.
She'll take a sec to rest it. It's a good position. Not wonderful feet, but the hands are great. Doesn't rest long. This is the thing though with a low rest, is you don't really need it for that
No, I think you can get sucked into thinking you need it, but really, they've not been on the wall for very long, and the climbing will not have been hard for Jessie, so I'm sure she's got more just cracking on.
Heels are used to find purchase on those plastic holds, and there's a good opportunity to take some of the pressure off the arms. And although not a full shakeout and a rest sometimes, it's just enough to recover, micro shaking.
Doesn't opt for the knee bar, but has the toe hook in instead, using the top part of her foot.
I wonder whether she has missed it when reading, or has decided she doesn't need it whilst climbing.
She's climbing quite confidently and quickly, so maybe she just didn't think she needed it.
Yeah, didn't even seem to glance at it, but rests here for a little longer.
Already moving up the leaderboard, showing what a good boulder round she had. Not far into the scoring section of this route.
Yeah, 125 needed to bump Zhenya Kaspakova off that 3rd place position. Comes underneath the triangle now. Underclings from her.
Very precise, efficient climbing from Jessie here. Almost into our 3rd take section.
Yeah, so she approaches the podium positions from now on.
Up to 4th already.
Look at this score, brilliant. And these holds are worth 5 from now on, so she'll be racking up the score quickly. But this traverse is a bit blind, it's awkward, and it's still not vertical. Swings the left leg out and round to steady. And 2nd position now. As Molly said, she won't be jumping up for Mia Krampel, but she will want to put some distance between herself and the next competitor.
Yeah, 100%. There's still Hannah and Janja to come, so positions are not fixed and not final.
So down to the crimp. Resting in this position, back and forth she goes.
Crazy, resting this high up on the roux on holds this bad. And she has that final quick draw in at the very beginning of the head roll, meaning she's all go to the final hold and the final clip.
Yeah, sometimes it's a bit awkward reaching it high above your head, but I think in this position she was in, because she could find the rest, she knew she could make a big move and then drop back down.
Yeah, for sure. Clip, rest a little, and then charge to the top.
So here we go, Jessie Pilz in the final section, into the head wall, that vertical part of the wall. Towards the top, she's got to finish on the last hold and clip the quick draw.
Still looking pretty controlled. Climbing with great technique still, showing she can't be too tired. And chalking up right before the last move.
There is always a sting in the tail in these routes though, and this is it, but steady from Jessie Pilz as she matches. Needs to clip the quick draw in order to finish the route, and does. Maximum
point for her as well.
So Hannah Moyle is off. She gets underway, climbing through this first initial section.
Again, not meant to be too tricky for the athletes, as we're still not in any scoring zone, but definitely supposed to tire them out.
So she's up towards the blue volumes. That's the pinch we saw Alicia hesitate on, and it's not great. You can see from that angle.
Hannah is rocketing at the start of this route.
Misses the clip a little.
And a bit of a fumble.
Right, Hannah sets herself. She's good at these moves, but she's really low on this, but then creeps up to almost do it statically. And that's going to be interesting, because theoretically, if Hannah tops this out, she's going to draw with Mia Krampel, but will get bumped into first position due to count back her position.
I guess maybe due to attempts in the boulder round, or count back to the previous qualification.
Let's see, so she gets the heel in. And that's the knee bar, which actually from that angle makes you realise maybe why Jessie... I don't know, it's pretty good.
Still a long stretch out to that quick draw. It has been extended, but it is still quite a way away.
It is, yeah, that knee bar, you want as much skin as possible, and ideally to be right underneath the knee bar hold. And she's almost scrubbing it, really.
Didn't hang around too long.
So here we go, out to the crimps, gets a heel, slips down slightly, but didn't have that awkward position that Chloe got in. Hannah Moyle climbing quickly and fluidly. She's got that dynamic sort of bounce in the way she climbs.
Yeah, she almost floats.
Yeah, it's really efficient when you get it right. Crowd are getting so into this, as you'd expect.
Yeah, very well timed claps with the music.
Right, Hannah approaches the end of this route now, but she's got this tricky traverse to come.
And the left foot comes off, making that move probably more tiring than Hannah would have liked.
So she's in bronze, but she's still not guaranteed a medal with Janja to climb.
Bent arms, she's definitely fighting a bit harder now.
Yeah, here we go. She needs to go above Jessie Pilz to get a definite medal here. Crowd cheering her on. She crosses under. Hannah Moyle, can she add another medal to that collection? Oh, she hasn't clipped that quick draw though, Molly, down low. So she's got to reach under. And she's not going for it. Comes down.
She takes a huge fall. Position after that boulder round. So close to that perfect score. And yeah, she knows this route is toppable. She knows it's been done. And I mean, if other people can do it, Janja can definitely do it.
Yeah, Mia Krampel, she had a great performance to top that out. She's guaranteed a medal. And Janja, though, well, she will want gold. She's already got 2 this week.
Yeah.
Can she make it the triple? Crossing through, no scores down low. So that score, that 99.9 that she achieved in the boulder with almost a perfect round. Will only start when she gets to the yellow holds.
Climbing quite conservatively, I'd say. Definitely less risky than we're used to with Janja.
This is it. She could slip now, and all of it would be gone.
Yeah.
All of that work in boulder for nothing. But as I said that, I realised the momentousness of this section. It's huge. It's huge, these holds. I was worried whether it would sort of lose some tension not having scoring, but actually I think it kind of ramps it up a bit because it could all just go.
For sure.
But she's clean through the first crux, easy now, and then she will start to score.
Looking very relaxed as well.
So Janja will pause. She's very good at timing things, although the clock hasn't even vaguely been an issue so far.
No. We've seen the women have climbed much quicker than we're used to on this route.
Good to be able to see the whole lead wall dedicated just to one route. Usually during World Cups, there's two on there, the men and women's. Ooh, Janja just bicycling the legs. I wonder whether she'll use this knee bar. Looks like she's trying to, yeah. No, just moves straight through like Jessie did. Oh no, maybe it's a rope. Oh, guess a toe.
Opts for a toe hook.
Similar to Jessie.
Yeah. I mean, still looks fairly relaxed, head back.
So, deciding the toe is the way to go. She shakes out as she gets into the most overhanging section.
Climbing very carefully for Janja. It is really hers to lose. Skipping out holds.
She is, you're right.
Jumping up the leaderboard.
Yeah, I think
the points.
when she gets towards the top, we might see a bit of the Janja we know, that sort of more fluid, flicky style. Right now, she needs to make sure of every hold as she approaches the last high-scoring section of this route.
Definitely climbing pretty controlled, locking everything in just that little bit more.
122.9, 124 now. Needs 165 total, 0.9 or more to take a bronze medal, and she's coming up to Hannah Moyle's score now. Out towards the pinches. This is where things start to get a bit blind.
Still very easy work for Janja. You can see the route setters have blocked that right hand, making it even worse.
Janja, look at that.
Resting.
Well, she rested, but I think she had a little word with herself there. Like, she's human. We know she feels these big moments, and this is the biggest. She's close to the triple in the European Championships. Looks down at the clock to make sure of the timing.
And she knows there's not much room for mistake here. This format does not allow for any of that.
Here she goes. There won't be much stopping from now as she crosses over with the right into the pinches. Each move precise from Janja Garnbret.
Getting that final clip that Hannah didn't quite manage to get in, and she is already into a medal position.
Yeah, so Hannah Moyle bumped down. Disappointment from her as we look. She's still cheering her on though. Really good to see. So how high can she go? What colour will that medal be? And there we go, confirmation of it. Janja Garnbret will take the triple. 3 gold medals in 1 week of comp climbing and a jump to finish things off. And Janja Garnbret is your champion here this afternoon once more.
Done with style.
Ah, it's so good to see. Well, Jessie disappointed, obviously. But, I mean, what do you say, Molly? I've run out of the words. What do you say about Janja?
I mean, yeah, there's not much left to say other than just simply one of a kind.
You got to say, throughout that boulder comp and that lead climb, there wasn't really a moment where I got that nervous for Janja Garnbret. Maybe down low when she still could have not got onto the podium, but she looked in control.
Yeah, the whole way through. It was hers to lose, really.
It was. Once again, she wins. And she celebrates with the crowd who are on their feet clapping.
For the third time this week.
Third time. Well, if Janja Garnbret had a plan going into this one, I think she's ticked all the boxes that she wanted to.
Another 3 golds to add to the collection.
Janja celebrates with her, and Hannah, that's nice to see. She was bumped down because of Janja, but still celebrating.